Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we have something special for each and every one of you watching over there on YouTube. Well, I'm right now in Singapore, where we are here in this beautiful showroom, all the way in Singapore. So I come from Aston Martin Kuala Lumpur, all the way back in Malaysia. So I'm here joined by my special, colleague and also a very good friend from Aston Martin, who's here to train us and also train the whole of Asia regarding Aston Martin's beautiful automotive cars. So let us welcome Mr. Choon Kiat Lim, also known as CK, Mr. CK.
Hi everyone.
Yes, welcome Mr. CK. Thank you so much for being here and welcoming me to your beautiful showroom here in Aston Martin, Singapore.
Sure.
So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we have a beautiful car right here with us, and this model is called a Aston Martin Valhalla. Is that the correct way to say it?
That's correct, yeah.
Okay.
The Valhalla.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take a walk around from the exterior all the way down to the interior, and Mr. CK is going to guide us and tell us what's special about this beautiful design and how he feels about it. Yeah, so let's do it.
Alright, so there you have it, the very beautiful Valhalla from Aston Martin.
From Aston Martin.
So the Valhalla is actually the very first road-going V8 mid-engine hypercar from this 110-year-old brand based in Gaydon. This car, as you can see over here, is one of the only two road-going product, or rather I would say it's a mock-up that's going around the world to give the prospective buyers or people who have placed a deposit a view of the car so that they can actually see, touch and feel what a Valhalla would be like. So on this mock-up, there's actually no engine, no transmission. You can think of it as a 1:1 car model, but this will give everyone a very good perspective. You can actually see the car. This is how the car will be like when the car is finally produced, and the first customer delivery we're expecting at about end of 2024.
Beautiful. End of 2024. So there's only two mock-ups like this. One is this, and this beautiful color is called a Verdant Jade.
Verdant Jade.
Verdant
yes,
Jade.
Correct.
Verdant
correct.
Jade.
So this is the one and only one that's in Southeast Asia right now. Before it came over to Singapore, it was actually in Seoul, and after the stop in Singapore, it will be actually going over to Australia.
Okay, awesome. And I noticed that this beautiful car has the latest badge of Aston Martin. So the previous one, as we all know, the design is slightly different compared to this, and this is without that line. So
Correct.
It looks really stunning from the front and the back.
Exactly.
So I noticed the front, the grille is actually the vein grille, right? As well, they call it. Yeah.
Correct. So it still retains the very distinctive Aston Martin grille, but right now it has been elongated, so it's a lot wider.
Stretched nicely.
Exactly, it's been stretched to the sides because the car is so low and pretty wide. So this Aston Martin grille has been retained definitely to give it the distinctive Aston Martin face. So obviously, with this big massive grille is to help with the cooling as well. So you have all the coolers that's up front. Remember, this car is a mid-engine, so it's not for air intake, it's purely for cooling.
For cooling.
Correct.
Yeah.
And obviously, I'm sure you see this really big, massive spoiler over here,
Yeah.
Now, bear this in mind, this component plays a very pivotal role in terms of the aerodynamic function of this car.
So that the car does not go upwards, it's held to the ground.
Yes,
right?
correct.
Held to the ground,
So, since we are touching on the topic of aerodynamics, maybe I can give you some figures.
Sure.
So this car produces 600 kilos of downforce. So, but look at the car itself. Do you see a big, massive wing sitting out at the back of the car?
No, yeah, it's not. It's hidden. The wing is actually hidden, right?
There is a wing, but it's actually quite a small wing, and it's actually designed to be part of the rear body works. So we don't have those massive big wings that sit, because usually cars that are producing aerodynamic downforce at this level, they'll be spotting like a really huge wing, a wing possibly even sitting higher than the roof of the car itself to produce that kind of level. But on this car, later when we go to the side, go to the rear, you will notice that on the bodyworks itself, there's actually none of this massive wings or splitter. We have this big front splitter, but this is really important because for Valhalla, most of the downforce is actually produced by the underside of the car.
Underside of the car.
Correct.
Awesome. And moreover, the car is like super flat, so I can't imagine without that front splitter, right? With all that air coming in, it's just going to lift the car eventually. So
Exactly.
this is meant to hold down the
This
car,
is
right?
meant to have a clear separation of the air that's going over, as well as under the car. So
understood.
each path of the air will have a different function.
Understood. Beautiful, beautiful. So let's move towards the wheels perhaps on this side. I mean, one thing I know is that the brake calipers, they have, come up with a color to closely match the body of the car.
Correct.
So it's really stunning. And these are carbon ceramic brakes as well that's going to be out.
Exactly.
Yeah,
The carbon
awesome.
ceramic matrix brakes will be standard on the Valhalla itself. So these wheels, I believe they are also different in size as well. They should be 20 on the back, on the front, and 21s on the rear.
Awesome, awesome. That's really beautiful. And the color of the wheels, they're slightly greenish, right? I believe
Yes.
it looks greenish. I mean,
Slight greenish, but I don't know if the final product will actually be like
will
that.
actually be like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
as we all know, this is actually a mock-up. So what we're looking at, the shape of the car, the design of the car is actually what it's going to be. But in terms of the color, perhaps
They may still undergo certain revision during this development process, because as of now, development work is still being carried on the car itself. So for example, later on when we go to the interior, this may not be the final product itself, there may be some changes to it.
some changes as well. So from the front earlier now all the way to the side, we noticed that there are tons of holes here and there. For example, like from here we are able to see the front tire on the left. And
Exactly.
if I stood over there, I can see the right tire over here.
Correct.
So airflow is very important when it comes to designing an Aston Martin, because every particular design on that car actually plays a role. So if there's an opening here or there, it's not just opening for fun. It's basically a design that's actually going to help the car perform much better than
Correct.
yeah, what it's meant to actually do. So yeah, the side openings here are actually quite big. Yeah. Wow. From the side, all comes the way out here from the front, all the way to the back.
Correct. So at Aston Martin, we have this term called functional jewelry.
Functional jewelry. Okay.
Correct. So what this means is, it looks beautiful, but it has to serve a function as well. Yeah. So you did mention about the vents,
Yeah.
where you can see the front wheels. So nowadays, the trend of most high-performance car is they tend to have louvers over the front wheel well.
Yes, yes, yes,
Because
yeah.
that is to release the pressure from the front wheel well, so that it reduces the lift on the front axle.
Beautiful.
But when you have all that, for Aston, the designers at Aston, the design team, they felt that that might not be very in line with the ethos of Aston's product, which is always to make the car as beautiful as possible. So in order not to have that, but yet you still have that function, that's why they have the vents on the other side, on the back of the vent, the wheel well, so that you can actually still vent out the pressure from the wheel well, but without ruin the aesthetic of the fender over here.
Right. Because it looks really clean, especially the first impression when I saw it in person.
Exactly.
It looks really stunning and nice. You know, I mean, like really
Correct.
wow.
And then if we
Beautiful.
come down here as well, so Andrew mentioned about all these vents, about the intakes over here, all these are all for aerodynamic purposes. So again, over here with this panel, it kind of concealed the vent. That also helped to release the pressure as well. Same over here, so all this air will get released. And then we have the carbon fiber bodywork over here that actually provides the intake for the cooling towards the engine as well.
Towards the engine as well.
And over here is a massive vortex generator.
Okay.
So it's actually to get the air, divert the air away from the rear wheel so that it doesn't create more turbulence.
Understood.
So all this is all for the sake of adding downforce to the car.
Functionality of the car
Exactly.
is purely amazing. Wow. And I love the fact they have these designs here like this, you know, how it's designed from here. It also works, I mean, it's for airflow and things like
Exactly,
that.
it's for the heat management of the engine. So all of these are actually small vents that, because the engine sits right over here, just behind the seat, so all these are meant for the heat to come out from the
Come
engine.
away, right? Otherwise, yeah.
And the trick thing about this is the direction of this vent is actually to direct it to the rear wing.
To the rear wing, I see.
So that helps to reduce the lift as well. So this rear wing is not an active, it is an active rear wing, but it doesn't come up.
It doesn't come up, okay.
So what it does is it adjusts the angle itself. So depending on what you do, for example, if you're going for a top speed run,
Yeah.
by the way, the top speed of the Valhalla is 350 kilometers per hour. So if you are going for a top speed run, the wing will adjust itself to have the minimal angle of attack so that it reduces drag on the car. But when you're slowing down the car, when you're heavy on the brakes and you want to slow down the car as quickly as possible, the wing will actually tilt itself up, acting as an air brake.
That's really beautiful to know. I mean, wow. I can imagine looking at it actually moving, because this is a mock-up, so unfortunately we can't really show you. Otherwise, there'll be a button right there.
Correct.
You can press to actually
To adjust it,
To
correct.
adjust it, yeah. So I noticed that the back here has these two huge openings, and for those of you who are watching, this is actually called it's actually called a Venturi
Tunnel.
Venturi tunnel.
Correct.
Yeah.
So this is actually part of the whole massive diffuser you can find at the back of the Valhalla. So we have one on either side. The Valhalla comes with a completely flat underfloor. So, and this component is the one that is mostly responsible for the 600 kilos of downforce.
Wow. So from the back,
For the back,
main
yes.
function. Wow.
So you can
Stunning.
see beside the massive diffuser with the two Venturi tunnel, you will notice all the perforated mesh that's in the middle.
Yep.
And you also have the vents from the rear wheel
From the
well
rear
as
wheel
well.
as
All
well.
this is to release the pressure from the wheel well.
Yeah.
This is for releasing the heat from the engine. So, and it looks beautiful.
True.
Yeah,
It
so,
looks
so again, the
extremely
term
stunning.
functional jewelry comes
Correct.
into mind.
So one thing you notice is from the rear, normally from the rear, the exhaust pipes are supposed to be at the bottom, but in this case, it's all the way up here. So it looks beautiful, and the wings are the rear badge for the Aston Martin is actually right at the bottom here. So yeah, looks really nice, beautiful. And that's actually supposed to be the brake.
That's the
lights.
brake light.
The brake
yes.
lights. Okay.
That's a vertical brake light.
Okay.
And it's actually incorporated into a roof scoop. So if you actually notice around here, even the shape of the top, the shape of the top of the door
Yes.
has been designed to create a ram air effect towards the roof scoop. And this is the intake for the engine.
Okay. That's good. The design is amazing. So the air goes in right away, the air intake for the engine.
Correct, for the
right
engine.
over there.
And then everything, all the heat gets vented out, and all this hot heated air actually goes to the wing, and that contributes to the reduction of the lift as well.
Beautiful. So let's take a look on the inside
Sure.
then, CK, if that's okay. So yeah, we have done on the outside, so let's take a look. Now, since this is a mock-up, we're going to lift it up. It's going to be slightly a little bit of weight there, but once the car is completed, it's going to be in full carbon fiber, so it's lighter.
All
to
right.
actually
Jump right
lift
in,
up.
Andrew.
Okay, how do we actually get in the car first? We sit in and then we roll it,
Okay,
right?
the easiest way to get into this car is to actually sit on the sill,
Sit on the seal.
sit on the door sill,
Sit on the door seal.
yeah, and then swing your legs over into the footwell,
Okay.
and then at the same time you slide
Slide
yourself into the seat. So one of the things that you will notice is on the Valhalla, because Aston Martin has its own F1 team.
Okay.
Yeah, so on the Valhalla, one of the very distinctive feature about the driving position is the lowest point, basically where your hip is actually lower than your feet itself.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, since you said it, I actually can feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Awesome.
so it's like an F1 car where the driver's hip is at the lowest point of the car and the feet is actually slightly elevated, and that is what the Valhalla is trying to replicate.
Awesome. I can imagine I'm actually racing right now.
So
Beautiful.
Maybe
yeah.
I just want to point out something. So on this mock-up car, as of now, the seat is actually part of the carbon fiber monocoque, which
Okay.
this car is based on.
Okay.
So the seat itself is not movable. So the pedal assembly, basically the pedal box can actually be adjusted
I
closer to you,
see. Okay.
and the steering wheel can be closer to you. But on the actual production Valhalla, the factory has confirmed that the car will actually come with an adjustable seat.
Adjustable seat.
Adjustable seat, but the pedal assembly will stay fixed where it is, so the pedal assembly will not move. So as what you find on most production cars. Reason being, if the seat is actually part of the monocoque, there are drivers who might be slightly shorter, they might find it a challenge to see out of the car itself. So by having a movable seat, you are able to adjust the seat higher for those who are slightly shorter, so that they will still be able to drive the car with ease.
Awesome. That is really, really good information. I mean, thank you for sharing that. And yeah, so it's going to be a full carbon fiber tub,
Yes,
right? Carbon
correct.
fiber tub, awesome. So the wheel design is going to be more or less something like this.
It's more or less like that.
Yeah.
I'm quite sure there might be some minor revision. We did get questions from some potential customer asking, would there be an infotainment screen on it? Because being a road car, they will still want to be connecting their devices to the infotainment screen, and that is something that we don't have any information yet from the factory.
Yeah.
So, but I do believe there might be revision in like the overall look of the cabin,
Correct.
as well as the potential connectivity.
Okay, Okay. And one thing, there was no rear view glass, right? There's no rear glass at the back. So this is actually going to be a camera.
I believe,
a rear view mirror, yeah.
Yes, I believe there will be a camera that actually goes to the back and projecting the image onto the rear view camera.
To this part. And it's really simple and nice and it's driver focused, you know, it's all about driving. Yeah, it's all about driving when you're in this car. It's beautiful. Oh, amazing. I wish you can actually start it, but yeah. so when we want to get it down, we got to put our legs out first? Or
Yes, getting out is always is the same. You swing your leg out,
Swing your leg out
both your
first.
legs out, and then get yourself sitting on the door seal.
on this,
And then you can
we
stand up.
Get out. So we don't have to
Yes.
worry about the door actually. Like it's angled up in a way. It's just comfortable enough to walk out. Other than some
Exactly.
just
So
actually, yeah.
glad that you point out about the door, because there are other brands that are using a similar door like this. This is what we call a dihedral door. So the door actually swings up and out. But the position of our hinge is what we put it at a forward position. So it's a forward hinge dihedral door. So the whole advantage of this that if you actually come really 90 degrees straight onto the side of the car,
Okay.
you notice that the door aperture is actually very big.
Very big,
As you
okay.
get in and out, you don't really have to contort your body
I
to just
see.
to access the cabin or to get out of the car. Whereas on some other cars, the hinge will be closer to the edge of the door, and the door will actually be encroaching into possibly 1/3 or even half of the space, and you really have to contort your body just to get in and out.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. I mean, I love the design. The design of the car is really spectacular. So peaceful to look at. Even with the car not in motion, the car already looks fast.
It
So,
does.
yeah.
It does.
So yeah. Anyways, I think is there anything else special that you yourself fancy about this car compared to?
Okay,
whatever
there are
that
some
we just
figures
spoke
that I would like to share with you. So
Yeah.
this is a 4-liter twin-turbo V8 with a flat plane crank. So just the engine itself will produce 850 PS, and all that power goes to only the rear wheels. It is combined with 2 electric motors, one on the front axle, one on the rear axle. In total, the Valhalla will have a total output of 1012 PS.
Beautiful.
0 to 100 on this car will take about 2.5 seconds. and the
2.5
top-
seconds.
Exactly.
Amazing.
So top speed will be 350 kilometers per hour. Because this car sits on a carbon fiber tub, so the target weight of this car, we are estimating it to be about 1,550 kilos.
It's really light.
And very importantly, a lot of people has been asking, because you know Nürburgring lap time is all the
Yeah.
rage right now. Everyone
Yes.
is trying to set a lap record on the Nürburgring.
Yep.
So the current lap record holder is the 911 GT2 RS MR with a lap time of 6 minutes 43 seconds.
Okay.
So with this car, Aston Martin is hoping for a sub 6 minute 30 second lap on the Nordschleife.
Yeah, I believe you'll be able to make it. Just take a look at the beautiful design of this car. I mean, wow. Can't wait to get the lap time actually there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.
You're
Thank
most
you so
welcome.
much, CK, for all your time, and it's a pleasure to be here all the way in Aston Martin, Singapore. For those of you who are in Singapore and checking out this video, do visit and check Aston Martin Singapore out. This place is stunning, beautiful, spacious. You have tons of test drive cars available for you to actually take them for a spin. So you can get in touch with your sales specialist, and I'll leave their links down below, and you can get in touch with them and contact them. Thank you.
You're most
much, CK.
welcome.
Thanks again.
Thank you.
See you. See you again.